I've got the key to this modified 2017 Audi R8 V10 Plus. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. Now, the most glaring change made to this R8 is going to be the absence of the 4 Audi rings. I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's the carbon fiber body kit from 1016 Industries with the indent on the hood, the extending front splitter, the fender vents, the door mirror caps, the side sill, the side blade, the spoiler, the diffuser. I mean, the list goes on. It's just gorgeous. We also have this set of Titan 7 forged alloy 20-inch wheels in gloss black. They're wrapped in Pirelli P0 245 section front, 305 section rear tires. Within those wheels, we can also see the factory carbon ceramic brakes. Stepping back to look at the profile, might be thinking, wow, that R8 looks like it's sitting low. Indeed it is. It's on KW coilovers. It lowers the stance and just tightens up that wheel gap so nicely. I want to thank James Weir for letting me drive his modified R8 here. James and his father run the South OC Cars and Coffee, among some other auto events, and if you live in the SoCal area, you cannot miss them. They're some of the craziest, most eclectic car shows I've ever seen. Here at the back, we've got a carbon fiber spoiler, pronounced carbon fiber diffuser, and a center exit exhaust system from Voodoo Autosport. So Huracan, so rad. This blacked out carbon fiber bodied R8 is sinister looking. Let's check out the interior. Opening up via the hidden handles and looking inside at this black interior with leather Recaro sport bucket seats that power raise and lower, but manual slide. There are aluminum foot pedals. You get an aluminum R8 tread plate baked within this carbon fiber sill. There's an Alcantara wrapped headliner. Storage inside the cabin is limited. There's a shelf behind the front seats and a small front trunk. That's about it. Soft touch materials all around the door, leather here, power one touch up down windows, power adjusting and power folding door mirrors, matte carbon fiber trim here and around the gauge cluster and on the air vents. Moving inside. It's a low drop down, that's for sure. We'll put the car in accessory mode to turn on the digital gauge cluster, which not only houses your speedo, tachometer, and telemetry information, it's also your media stuff because there is no infotainment system. The only real modification to this cabin is this aftermarket carbon fiber wheel, which is so thick. It's got a red center marker, suede wraps at 9 and 3, defined sport grips, giant carbon fiber paddles on the back of it, a flat bottom, and suede cover for the airbag. Otherwise, it's factory stuff with the drive select, performance button, exhaust, and start stop system. In the center are your climate control settings, which look neat, and I just have this urge to pull on them for some reason, as if it's going to activate some hidden feature. Seat heat settings on either side. Under those, we find a wireless smartphone charging pad, 2 USB ports, and a DC outlet. There's a perforated leather-wrapped gear selector, some matte carbon fiber trim here, dial to control your infotainment system. Under the leather padded armrest, we find 2 cup holders. Headroom is excellent. And visibility is hindered somewhat at that B pillar. You can see out the back pretty well, and there's standard blind spot monitoring. As a whole, the cabin has excellent build and material quality. It's conservative, yes, but still attractive. And I do think this aftermarket carbon fiber wheel adds some excitement. I'm certainly ready. Let's take this modified R8 for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. Yeah, that's a deeper bellow than the standard factory R8, that's for sure. Okay, drive select is here, and we're going to begin in the auto drive mode, the adaptive drive mode based on driving behavior. Click in and press forward to go into reverse. That brings up a medium resolution backup camera. It does have trajectory lines, and of course it's here because there's no other screen in the car. Let's back on out of here. And folks, I will leave the usual turning radius test, turn signal sound, and world famous horn test to my myriad of other R8 reviews. Feel free to watch those on my channel. This is gonna be a little different this time. We're talking more performance and we're talking more opinion about modifying your car, whether it's an R8 or whether it's a Ford Taurus. Let's compare what you get in a standard 2017 Audi R8 V10 Plus to what we have here in James's car. The factory car made 610 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque from a naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10. James has a VF supercharger bolted to the top. With 6.5 psi of boost, it makes 850 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque running on 91 octane fuel. If you do the E40 fuel map, you're looking at 900 plus horsepower. Still the same 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, still the same Quattro all-wheel drive system. The only change to the dual-clutch being that this has the VF software, so it has 20% quicker upshifts and 50% quicker downshifts. 850 plus horsepower. That's immense. And yet, here in the auto mode, one, the transmission's behaving like normal, gets me into the highest gear possible to save fuel, and two, just accessing the power is progressive and gentle. Dare I say gentle when you're talking about these kind of figures? It's just easy to daily drive. And I anticipated a KW coilover system, because I've experienced one in a different car, to be brittle riding. But while this is firm, certainly firm, you could feel each bump and each groove and each change in the traction surface. It is not rough. It is not anywhere close to unbearable. I see why James daily drives this car. It's just fine. The only caveat to that, to daily driving, is that the car is so low on the KW coilovers that when you're sitting an inch off the ground, you're having to take driveways and bumps and things at a pretty steep angle. That's like the only trade-off for daily driving, because the ride quality is totally fine. And speaking of daily driving considerations, that Voodoo exhaust system merely just enhances the natural V10 noise. I hear very little, to be honest, of the supercharger. In certain parts of the RPM rev range, the whine comes in just faintly. I more hear the V10, but it's not a drone. It's not in any way something that would get annoying. This is something where you're like, I wanted to hear more V10 all over the place, even when I'm cruising. Well, you got it here. Now, what happens when you tire of the ordinary and you remember just how much power you have at your disposal? Well, you can either go all in and hit the performance button, and then you'll have to use the paddles to change your own gears, or you can just try a step up, going into dynamic mode. That puts it in sport powertrain. The throttle response is sharper. It's going to keep us out of the 7th gear for the most part. And you can just kind of put your foot down. Okay. Oh! Mercy! It is so silly. That power is fully intoxicating. It's just just rolling on and feeling the exhilaration. It dries the moisture from your mouth, to put it in some odd terms. Ferocious, like just blistering. The mid-range is unbelievable. I still don't hear much of that supercharger whine. but I feel its effects quite transparently. And I mean, we haven't even started doing some real handling, but I'll tell you what, the suspension changes do make this feel much more alert as you pivot the wheel. It wants to just get right in there. The turn-in is so eager. And what's crazy about the power, to go back to that, because I mean, how could you not, is that though it is unbelievable, it is in no way frightening. I mean, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. It can put that power down, but it just, oh look, a Mustang. Surprise, he wants to race. I'm not going to do it. It can put the power down and make you feel fully confident as you're doing that. Should we just hit the performance? Just real quick. This is not for him. This is for me. Okay, next. Real world 0 to 60. As usual, we do not have a perfectly primed surface like you would at a racetrack. Little uphill, tires aren't perfectly warm, so just keep that in mind as we do this. I've got my race box set up here, and then after the 0 to 60, immediately after, I'm going to slam on those brakes for a braking test. To prime the launch control system, I need to hit the checkered flag to put us in performance mode, and now I can hold my foot hard on the brake, pin the throttle. 3.2 seconds to 60 with at least a half second of hesitation right after I enabled the launch. It was like, oh yeah, and then it went. Still got 3.2 seconds, and I was well over 60 miles per hour by the time I was slamming on those brakes. And the carbon ceramics did a phenomenal job scrubbing that speed. I'm so very thankful that this car has the factory carbon ceramics, because it absolutely needs them. 3.2 seconds. No one's going to argue that that's not quick. But if we factored out that half second of hesitation off the line, totally could have seen how this would do 0 to 60 in the mid 2 second range, being about a half second quicker than a factory R8 V10 Plus. But I don't think that the 0 to 60 acceleration is what really is most impressive about this package. And so let's get into some high speed handling next. So let's jog back to performance with manual control and take on a brief but technical bit of road. It's pretty much teleporting between corners. And then tucks beautifully into them. You do still have to be careful getting back on the power out of the corner, because there's so much of it. But it remains dazzlingly composed. The brakes are so good. And the steering, though light like the factory car, elicits a much more prompt turn-in. And the fringes carry extra feedback. Oh my gosh. The roads we just took this R8 on are not its home base. These are not where it feels most comfortable. Wide open curves, big, powerful sweepers. That's more what aligns with this car's setup. And yet, as we saw, it handled itself just fine. I'm enamored. James's setup is incredibly well dialed. The power is intoxicating. I want to do this all day. It feels like it's time, though, for the miles per hour word of the day. And for this modified R8, I'm going to say that word of the day is Titanic. And no, I'm not talking about the very large vessel that sunk by striking an iceberg in the early 20th century. I'm talking about the descriptor of something that has exceptional strength or power. That is this car. It makes you feel like Hercules while driving it. It's effortless in the way it zooms forward. And the sound it makes, that V10, the rifle quick shifts, the agility of the suspension system from the KW coilovers, and that's the fully carbon fiber body that dazzles. It's quite the machine. And in lieu of talking about competitors, because this is a modified vehicle discussion and you can see all the competitors to the factory R8 in one of those reviews that I've done already, let's do a sidebar and talk about the pros and cons of modifying a vehicle. And we'll break this up. One, we'll talk about modifying a car that's within the factory warranty or one that's not. This is a great example of a vehicle that I don't know, James may have an extended warranty on this, but a 2017 model year, most likely it's out of warranty. By modifying a car within the warranty, unless it's purely cosmetic, any modification to performance is going to be met at the dealer by a firm, hard no. Like they are just going to turn you away if something goes wrong with your car. It's a danger. And unless you have just incredible amounts of money and, you can be like, I don't need your dealership, I'll just pay whatever it costs to fix it, then that's going to be a bit of a bummer for you. If you go out of warranty, as I'm assuming this car is, then you're already expecting that anything that goes wrong with the car is going to be on your dime. And while modifications can make a car less reliable, in many cases they do, you already kind of have the assumption that you're footing the bill. Modifying a car versus not, in general, a factory vehicle like an R8, you are not only transcending the performance of the car, because, you're taking something that is already hard to keep up with, and now you're moving it into territories of cars that are in the probably high $100,000 to low $1 million range. And you're also making it more bespoke. It's more your car. If you pull up next to another R8, and yes, the cars are uncommon, but they're not completely rare, yours is not going to be just like theirs. And so it's those two things, transcending your car's performance and also having something that's more unique to you, are the big bonuses, the big benefits to doing a modification. The downsides to modification, I've already kind of hinted towards this. One, most of the time, it's decreasing the reliability of your car. Now, I've seen the inner workings of VF Engineering, and I know their supercharger system is rather conservative, and they're building it so that it stays reliable to the extent that your very powerful car is going to be reliable from the factory. That isn't so much of a concern. It's when you're dipping into systems that are built really just to give you that performance boost, and they don't care about what it does to anything else. You're like, oh, wow, it's so much faster, but it idles terribly. They don't care about that. And then it's also not thinking about complementing that increased performance with the other important components. This car has the factory carbon ceramics. If it didn't, I would say you'd need to upgrade the steel brakes. The tires need to have sufficient grip. The transmission needs to be able to handle the extra power so you don't blow something up. All the components need to match. If you start cherry picking, you start asking for trouble. In this case, in this application, everything is in lockstep, and I think the modifications completely change this car and enhance it in every way compared to a factory R8. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and please let me know in the comments, should you modify your car? Should you not? Make an argument for it, and I'm gonna love getting in there and engaging with you. One last quick thank you to James for letting me review his car, and I will see you guys again next time.